Ford CEO Jim Farley admitted that their EVs have 1 mile of wiring that they do not need. Let's take a look at this Electric Viking report.
Jim Farley is furious. He's furious at his staff, in particular, management and executives. He believes that they really didn't think through the Ford Mustang Mach-E and the Ford F-150 Lightning. And there's just obvious things that they should have thought of, manufactured and designed these vehicles. And when you read between the lines, well, it's very clear. Jim is saying, I'm not going to pay you for doing stupid stuff. I'm absolutely baffled. What on earth is happening lately? The media, CNN, saying stuff like this? The world has gone crazy.
Sam is a little bit baffled by some of the positive stories from mainstream media about Tesla, although you can still find plenty negative. But it's good to see some more positive like this one. Tesla earns 5 times more per car than Toyota earnings show. And remember, Tesla cut prices in China last quarter and also offered a promotion in the US that lasted about a whole month in December that cut Tesla's prices. You can see the trend here. And it is really not looking good for everyone else because now that Tesla cut prices more, how do you compete with that? How do you cut your prices when you have no profits to cut the prices?
Ford apparently has done some strange things with the Mustang Mach-E, and bizarrely, this is not Tesla fan sites, it's not Teslarati, it's not YouTube channels. No one's saying this, it's the mainstream media. It seems all of a sudden that a weird percentage of news has been positive Tesla news. I don't know what's going on. It's so strange. CNN Business said that Ford showed this week it's not going to be as easy for traditional automakers to catch Tesla in the race to build the better electric vehicle, despite what the Tesla doubters think. Now, this is a key point that I've been trying to mention for a while now. It's not that easy to explain to some people who don't want to actually see logic. But basically what's happening right now is we're hearing companies like Ford say, oh, we've got a new generation electric skateboard coming out. It's going to be amazing. Who else is saying that? Toyota is saying we're going to start building one in 2047.
Or even worse. For example, Rivian is working on an e-bike. Why would you work on an e-bike though? I think they would be better off working on their prototypes. In all of 2022, Rivian only delivered 20,000 vehicles to its customers. Tesla delivered way over 1 million vehicles during that same period of time. Maybe they want to get into e-bikes because despite all of the hype behind EVs, electric bikes have actually outsold electric and plug-in hybrid cars in the US since 2021. But, they cost a lot less, so that sort of makes sense. Despite the revenue opportunity presented by the new category, car makers have yet to find any notable success with their e-bikes, despite brands like Porsche, Mercedes, Jeep, GM, Hummer, and others all giving it a go. So Rivian is trying to go into e-bikes as well. Why would you do such a stupid thing? You should be busy making your truck better because Tesla is going to absolutely obliterate you.
Look at this new electric structure skateboard coming from X brand. It's going to kill Tesla. But the thing is, they're just changing the rules. It's like, yeah, it's okay to compare that new product that's coming out in several years' time with Tesla's product today, but it's not fair to compare Tesla's product coming out in several years' time, or maybe next year, I don't know when it's coming, versus that product. Now, you've got to compare apples with apples, and that's the key point here that I think CNN is trying to say.
For example, there's this Ram pickup truck, which was advertised on the Super Bowl, so a huge ad, and the ad was talking about premature electrification. Yeah, but literally, you cannot get the vehicle this year. It is only supposed to go on sale next year if it is not delayed.
Ford CEO Jim Farley was rather blunt about the problems that Ford have experienced as they rolled out their EV models, the Mustang Mach-E and the F-150 Lightning. While both vehicles have a long list of waiting customers, Farley admitted that Ford encountered many problems with their production. We didn't know that our wiring harness for the Mach-E was 1.6 kilometers longer than it needed to be. How do you not know that? That's strange. We didn't know it's 70 pounds heavier and that's $300 in extra cost per vehicle for nothing. He said that on a call with investors.
If I compare the Model Y thermal system, which you can see right here, just remember how big it is, how many hoses there are. And now look at this. Sandy Monroe did a great job taking all of this out and apart. This is everything that goes into the Mach-E. It basically does the same thing, except it uses a lot more hoses, a lot more parts, and a lot more fluid, which makes the car heavier, which then reduces your range of the EV. And that means you have to put more batteries just to get that same range. But Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, admitting to all of this, to me, this means that Ford has a chance of not going bankrupt.
Some have been saying, there's not really any difference between EVs these days. Well, one very big difference is this. For example, Volkswagen Group just brought out their new Cupra-born EV, right? It's a relatively small vehicle. It's like the size of a Toyota Corolla, but it weighs more than a Tesla Model Y. That's a pretty big difference, my friends.
And you wonder how some of these are having trouble being sold. Well, here you go. When the car is so much heavier, it's not just about that you will have a lot less range. That is a problem, of course, a big one. But also think about things like brakes. You need to have stronger brakes just in case you need to brake really fast. If your car weighs a whole lot more, the brakes are going to cost more as well. Also, the car will not drive as nice.
Probably the closest competition is BYD. And yeah, BYD vehicles are great. But if you've driven one, you'll find the ADAS safety systems, depending on my experience has been, to be honest, I can only use one word. It's been infuriating. You can ask my wife about that too. She'll share the same sentiment with you. Now, it drives really well. Great battery. However, the software, Tesla is way ahead in.
You know where else Tesla is way ahead? Net profit per vehicle. Can you see the profit from BYD? Not really. It's hard to see. Why? Because it's almost non-existent. There's some, but there's not much. Also, Tesla is ramping all of this Megapack production. Look at this. This is not just Lathrop. This is also Nevada. And you can see a whole bunch of them there. Each one of those Megapacks is $2 million just sitting there. So if you ever wondered how $1 million looks like, how about tens of millions of dollars just sitting there? Mary Barra, the CEO of GM, will be recognized for their induction into the class of 2023 Automotive Hall of Fame on July 20th, 2023 in Detroit. Mary Barra is commended for becoming the first woman CEO in the automotive industry, guiding GM through the ignition switch recall and establishing gender equity and equal pay within the Detroit-based automaker. Stephen Mark Ryan had this to say about this matter. I would say the CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, is a lot more worthy of that achievement because he is admitting that they made mistakes. They put way too many wires in their Ford Mustang Mach-E and wasteful parts that are completely not needed. I mean, Ford actually has built some EVs that will not burn down your house when you park the EV in your garage. And this is the Tesla stock buying opportunity explained by Elon Musk. My name is Matt Post. Just like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.